Before I begin this video, I do want to highlight the fact that this contains a lot of spoilers from the most recent Inanimate Insanity episode, being Inanimate Insanity Season 2, Episode 17. If you haven't seen the episode yet, I highly encourage you to go watch it now before watching this video. Without any further ado, let's begin. Inanimate Insanity is a very interesting object show, to say the least. It started off very simple, right? With the typical concept similar to BFDI. In fact, one of the contests of the first season was to not land in feces. And the fact that it came from that and excelled into the show it is today with a very convoluted story and an interesting plot that everyone wants to speculate about is definitely an interesting concept. And in this video, I want to discuss who I think the main villain of Inanimate Insanity is because at the end of Inanimate Insanity 17, the contestants think MePhone is the real villain. They think MePhone is the one who put them through all this torture and is the mastermind behind all of this. Well, everyone but, Suitcase and Knife. Now, I want to go ahead and point out that I honestly don't know what the future episode, Inanimate Insanity 18, has in store, or even if there will be an Inanimate Insanity 18. Who knows? Maybe it might be similar to 1, the story ending off on a cliffhanger, not knowing what's going to be next. But I have a broader opinion on this subject. I think the rest of the story is up for interpretation. What's going to happen next in Inanimate Insanity can be interpreted by anyone until there is a next episode, or if there is a new announcement by the crew, if another episode of Inanimate Insanity even will come out. Who knows? I mean, once this season is over, what's going to happen with Inanimate Insanity? Honestly, I think the concept is very interesting. It's because I don't even know if I really want to talk about the villain of Inanimate Insanity in this video. I mean, I know I will, but still, there's a broader question to be answered within this video. What's next for this series? Did Steve Cobs win? What's going to happen to MePhone 4? What happened to the contestants? Are they just gone? No one knows. And I think until we get an update or a new episode, that is up for interpretation. Now, the newest episode came out a few hours ago, and I watched it in full, and it took me a little bit, I had to take some pauses and stuff to kind of interpret what was happening and kind of get a grip with the story, but man, it is an experience and a half watching that episode. And I'm going to be honest, man, Steve Cobs, he's a smart dude. I mean, almost planning out everything, he made MePhone 4, who made Inanimate Insanity. At first, I thought that he just found these contestants, walking around on the street or something, and said, hey, do you want to compete in my competition show? But then when I found out in Inanimate Insanity 16 that wasn't the case, well, I mean, wow, that's all I can really say. He made the contestants, he created them, not in his head, but from his own ideas, which, I mean, you could argue that it's the same thing, but still. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of a lot to juggle when you really think about it. Now, I kind of have a non-existent question that I want to answer. I think the contestants, and by the contestants I mean the few that haven't been deleted yet, I don't think they're actually gone. Hear me out. I think that they just went somewhere else. It's because we've seen them glitch away, but that doesn't mean that they just are dead. That could possibly mean that they went somewhere else. Like I said, this is just a mindless theory that I have. But think about it. There's obviously a clear difference between being deleted and getting glitched away. It's because, like I said, if these guys were just gone for good, then they probably would have been deleted along with some of the other contestants, just left being being an inanimate object. But they weren't. They just glitched away. Who's to say that they didn't go to an alternate reality or something like that? It, like I said, a lot of this is up for interpretation. We'll just have to wait until there's a new episode that comes out. And hopefully there will be an Inanimate Insanity 18. I think there will be, but I mean, who knows? I mean, I know there was probably some people who thought that there would be a 119, but there wasn't. Like I said before in previous videos, one kinda did end on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Is because we never got to find out what actually happened to Ari or Liam and the contestants on the plane. It's just left for interpretation. And an Inanimate Insanity could pull something like this too. I don't really know what the public eye would think about it, but we'll just have to figure that out if it happens. But who knows? In my opinion, this could go both ways. They could pull a one and end the series on a cliffhanger, or they could make one more episode to wrap everything up. It really is just for interpretation. Now, when it comes to that, like with the ending, I think and this is in terms of how people will perceive it. I think this can go both ways. I think if they end on a cliffhanger, a lot of people could just think, you know what I mean? Oh, well, that's cool. You know what I mean? They leave it up for interpretation for the viewers or for the fans of the show, or some people could be frustrated about it. You know what I mean? And be like, oh man, I really kind of wanted to see like an actual ending of the series. Or, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of just an educated guess. But when you really think about it, right? When you really think about it, it could be cool to end the series on a cliffhanger and leave it up to the fans to actually decide what happens. That's where the theories come from. It's theorizing about what could happen, based off of the little information that you have left. Like I said, this is very similar to one, you know what I mean? Like, when it comes to the end of the series, you can only really theorize what actually happened. Is because it's never really shown what happens to everyone after the series ends. Where does Ari go? Does he just go to the afterlife, or does he find himself in a different world? What happens to the contestants on the plane? Do they just stay there for eternity, or do they find their way back home? Does Liam free them, or does he become the next Ari? No one knows, and I don't think we ever will know. Like I said, it's good to have a series or an episode end on a cliffhanger is because it could leave the fans to interpret more stuff, and it's open for a lot more theories. But it could make the story feel incomplete, right? Like I said, and Crunchy Does Stuff, a YouTuber that I actually enjoy watching, kind of explained that in a video. He mentioned that sometimes object show cliffhangers or not object show cliffhangers, but having a series end on a cliffhanger, it's good to have people interpret what could happen, but you know what I mean, it could also leave out a lot of stuff. And it's also with the with the contradicting end of things. You can have a finale that clears some stuff up, but I don't think it should be able to clear everything up about the series. There should still be stuff that you can theorize about. Like, if you're gonna have an object show finale, you don't want it to reveal everything, right? But just enough to where the story feels complete while you can still kind of theorize about some stuff. And like I said, you know what I mean? Like, there might be a few object shows out there that, have ended like that. Like, I think T-Dust kind of did a pretty good job with its ending. But, you know what I mean? Like, the one ending, I would say, might be a little bit controversial. Not because of anything big, it's just because of how people think it ended off the story. Like, for an example, Crunchy Does Stuff, you know what I mean? In his opinion, he didn't really like the one finale, which I could understand, considering the fact that, you know what I mean? It could feel rushed or something like that. Like, it might, but who knows? Honestly, who knows? No one knows how this finale could end. or not finale, but no one knows how this series could end. How will Inanimate Insanity finish off its story? Will it end with just MePhone and Cobs going off to go live a new life or restart? Or would it try to continue the stories of the few people left that haven't been deleted? And that's assuming that they haven't been deleted already. Maybe when they glitched out, they were just dead or gone. No one knows, and it's up for interpretation. I feel like Fan said that one time in an episode. I think he did, but I don't know which episode it was in. I'm gonna be honest, man. The part in the episode where Paintbrush cried, it kind of got me, man. Like, it's because those were their closest friends in the show. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't, like, when you were first watching Inanimate Insanity when it first came out back in 2011, you would not assume that it would turn to this kind of show. No one did. And honestly, I think it's really good development to have a show go from something that silly to one of the most interesting plot lines in the object show community. Okay, so this last section of the video, I'm just going to kind of say like my own personal opinion. Now, I think that it would be cool to actually have like some object show movies. Like, and I mean like kind of like an MCU thing for like object shows, like where it's like a genre, like a subgenre where it's like only movies. Is because that would be kind of cool. Like you see these characters, right? But like they're only in this movie. Like they don't come from a series or anything. They're just in that movie. And I think I'm like that would definitely be kind of cool. I'm not even gonna lie. Just to see that, like, for an example, the object show movie characters, they're not from a particular show. They're just from the object show movie. You get what I mean? Like, you know, I just like the idea of that. I know it sounds kind of simple and stupid, but I don't know. I mean, if I have some extra time on my hands, I might think of making an object show movie. Who knows, right? And it doesn't just have to be called the object show movie. It can be called whatever it wants to be. And considering how much the OSC is, you know, growing in popularity, you know what I mean? You could always hire people to make the movie. You know what I mean? You could just write the script and, you know, get going. Now, like I said, what I do have to understand, though, when it comes to this is that movies do take a long time to make. And even if there were to be a lot of object show movies that are going to be made, they would probably still take a lot of time to create. All in all, Inanimate Insanity is really one of my favorite object shows ever. In terms of story, it kind of does have BFDI beat. But, you know, yeah, we all know who the OG is. But still, this show is truly amazing. And when it ends, I'm gonna cry. Just like I cried when BFB ended. I don't know when BFDI is gonna end, but like, you know, whatever. Still though, when this show ends, I am definitely going to be pretty sad. But I'm just hoping, like I know all of you are hoping, that it does have a good ending. And I think we're in good hands in terms of that. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think that plot object shows are really good. And I think Inanimate Insanity, especially Season 2, I would say. Like Season 2 is the main candidate for this. But I think plot shows are really good. And I think Inanimate Insanity Season 2 represents, you know, plot shows in a pretty good light. And I hope there's a lot of shows that could maybe even, you know, live up to the potential that Inanimate Insanity has, like in terms of its plot. And it's really is just about execution, honestly. Like about like how you can have a good story, right? You just have to execute it in the right way. And I think Inanimate Insanity Season 2, especially this latter half of the series, is definitely doing a good job at doing that. But yeah, let's just go ahead and segment into the outro portion of this video. If you enjoyed the topic of this video, then please consider subscribing to the channel, as I am on a road to 10,000 subscribers. And hopefully we could get there soon. But yeah, that's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried.